From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India is a spellbinding mosaic of culture, tradition, languages and an extraordinary mingling civilization. Keeping its age-old culture maintained, today the country is taking huge strides in the path of development. Hello, I'm your host Uzma Jafri, and today in our episode of My India, we bring you some of the stories that will give a glimpse of our country's diversity. Spring season in India is all about fresh harvest, festivals and celebrations. The entire country welcomes it with great zeal and fervour by celebrating the festival of Basant Panchami in a number of different ways. Let's have a look at this year's celebrations.
The arrival of spring season brings with itself a confluence of colours, cool breeze, good harvest and avid celebrations. Marking the arrival of spring, the festival of Basant Panchami was celebrated in different ways in different regions of the country. In Prayagraj city of Uttar Pradesh, devotees converged at the banks of Sangam, which is also a confluence of rivers Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati, to take a dip in the holy waters.
महत्वपूर्ण है, प्रयाग में महत्वपूर्ण माना जाता है बसंत पंचमी, इसलिए सब लोग यहाँ स्नान करने आते हैं, नहाते धोते हैं, पूजा पाठ करते हैं.
In Kullu city of Himachal Pradesh, Basant Panchami marks the beginning of a 40-day celebration which concludes on the day of Holi. Thousands of devotees gathered at the Raghunath temple where idols of Lord Ram, Goddess Sita and Lord Hanuman were brought in a decorated palanquin from the Raghunath temple and placed in a wooden chariot. The chariot was taken to the Rath Maidan where the rituals marking the beginning of the celebrations were performed. Devotees rejoiced the occasion by playing colours with each other, and a holy sacrament was also distributed among all.
यहाँ पे बसंत पंचमी जो है बहुत अच्छे से मनाई जाती है हर साल. तो इस साल भी यहाँ बसंत पंचमी बहुत अच्छे से मनाई जा रही है. रघुनाथ जी को अपने मंदिर से बाहर निकाला है और रथ यात्रा भी यहाँ पर करवाई गई है और हम सभी को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है देख के. अभी रघुनाथ जी के दर्शन किए हैं और आज ही से जो है होली त्योहार की शुरुआत हुई है.
Meanwhile, Sikh devotees gathered at Gurudwara Chehatra Sahib in northern Amritsar city to chant hymns and offer prayers on the occasion. They also took a dip in the holy water with the belief that it will wash away their sins.
परमात्मा ਦੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੰਗਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਤਰੁੱਠ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਵਸਤ ਮੰਗੀਏ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਝੋਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ.
The festival glorifies Goddess Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge and wisdom. The goddess is depicted as seated in a lotus and riding a swan. Basant Panchami holds immense importance for students and artists who offer special prayers in schools and colleges on this day to seek the blessings of the goddess. Devotees wear yellow clothes on this day, and a variety of sweets flavoured with saffron are prepared in households. It is also believed Goddess Saraswati was born on this day.
Religious diversity acts as a crucial element which defines the cultures and traditions of India and binds the country all together. As India has always been the land of mystic and Sufi saints, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti holds this special place. So we take you to his shrine at Ajmer Sharif Dargah, where annual Urs of the saint was commemorated with religious fervour.
Cutting across the religious lines, hundreds of thousands of pilgrims throng Dargah of Moinuddin Chishti in holy city of Ajmer every year, validating the intrinsically harmonious essence of the city and by large India. Recently, the Dargah witnessed a large number of pilgrims coming together in the spirit of humanity and commemorating the 810th Urs or death anniversary of Sufi saint. During Urs, devotees including women and children offered prayers at the shrine and chanted holy verses from the Quran with traditional devotion and fervour.
दरगाह शिव में माहौल तो बहुत अच्छी तरीके से है. कोविड की तरह से पालना की वजह से थोड़ी पब्लिक कम भी आई है, क्योंकि पहले मालूम नहीं था लोगों को दरगाह खुली है बंद है, इस बाद में पब्लिक बड़ी भी है. दूसरी बात है, यहाँ पे जो लोग आते हैं वो हर कास्ट के, हर बिरादरी के, हर जात के, हर कौम के लोग आते हैं. खाजा साहब जिनको बुलाते हैं वो तो आते ही आता है, लोगों की आस्था है और इनमें यह है कि बाबा को उसमें जाएंगे कुछ ना कुछ मिलेगा।
Scores of devotees from all over the country as well as neighbouring nations thronged the dargah and offered chadars and sweets to place on top of the tombstone of the saint and seek his blessings. As the celebrations proceeded, different Qawwali groups came to the dargah complex and sang melodious Qawwalis in praise of the saint.
इसमें महाराष्ट्र, यूपी, बिहार, उड़ीसा, राजस्थान, गुजरात, वेस्ट बंगाल, तमिलनाडु, आंध्रा, कर्नाटक वगैरह सभी जगह के लोग यहाँ पर शामिल हैं। ख्वाजा साहब के दरबार में भी जन्नत दरवाज़ा भी 6 दिन के लिए खोला गया है, तो वो आकर के सब अपनी अपनी मुरादें मांगते हैं, धागे बांधते हैं।
Dargah Ajmer Sharif holds great significance as it welcomes people of all faiths to seek oneness with God and plays a distinctive role in narrowing the boundaries of religions and boosting secularism in the country. Born in 1140 AD, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti is known for his teachings of humanity and syncretism which transcends beyond religions. It is one of the most sanctified pilgrimage sites in the world, and it is believed that a person who prays with pure heart at Ajmer Sharif Dargah gets all his wishes fulfilled.
Now a roundup of some of the major stories that made news recently.
Rakesh Khatri, popularly known as the Nest Man of India, has revolutionized the world of housing for birds by creating more than 250,000 nests for his feathered friends. A bird lover since childhood, Khatri, when moved to a closed-up urban concrete jungle, started missing the birds, so he built some bird houses and discarded coconut shells. Khatri soon had birds in his residential society of concrete buildings with no open space. Since then, there was no looking back for him as he went on to conduct many workshops and webinars, mostly for children, teaching them how to build the bird houses, and has contributed to the making of more than 250,000 bird houses in the country.
पूरे देश भर में खूब वेबिनार करे, इतने वेबिनार करे कि लोगों ने 75,000 की तादाद में वो घोंसले बना डाले और उसके बाद से ये सफ़र चल ही रहा है। 2.5 लाख से ज़्यादा ही हो गए होंगे ऑलमोस्ट, मेरे हाथ के बनाए हुए और जो लोग हमसे ले जाते हैं बनाने के लिए उनके बनाए हुए। और आप मान के चलिए, मुझे लगता है अगर सब कुछ ठीक रहा तो 10 लाख बच्चों ने तो अब तक और फैमिलीज़ ने सीखा ही होगा वेबिनार के थ्रू, हमारे थ्रू, क्योंकि एक वर्कशॉप में हमारी 300 से 400 आदमी बच्चे बैठते हैं।
Khatri has been featured in the Limca Book of Records, the National Award for Outstanding Efforts in Science and Technology, Dr. KK's HCFI Award, and also has a chapter dedicated to him in a Class 4 standard textbook in schools. Tourists stranded in India's Shimla hill town found relief in the toy train to travel back home as heavy snowfall has blocked the roads. They were stuck in the city for quite some time as snowfall had led to traffic jams and snarled roads. However, some tourists were seen enjoying the snow and claimed themselves to be lucky to have witnessed the snowfall.
जिस दिन से हम यहाँ आए हैं उस दिन से स्नोफॉल हो रही है और हमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा इस चीज़ का मतलब वी आर एबल टू एक्सपीरियंस दिस प्लेजेंट वेदर। स्नोफॉल हमने फर्स्ट टाइम एक्सपीरियंस किया और वेदर बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल एंड हमें बिल्कुल ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे वी आर एबल टू एक्सपीरियंस हेवन।
Famed for its panoramic views as it climbs more than 4,000 feet through heritage tunnels and along multi-arched bridges, the narrow gauge 96-kilometer Kalka to Shimla route is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The train is the best alternative for the commuters, especially the tourists, as the Shimla airport is located about 22 kilometers away from the main city and has a very few scheduled flights. Our restaurant in New Delhi is wooing customers by offering prize money of 71,000 rupees to those who finish 10 feet long dosa, an Indian dish, in 40 minutes. Sridhar Kumar, the owner of Shakti Sagar, is a brainchild behind this idea. He came up with it to attract more customers to his restaurant.
छोटा डोसा बनाते थे हम पहले छोटे से स्टार्ट करा, कोई भी आदमी छोटे से स्टार्ट करता है, तो मैंने कहा थोड़ा बड़ा डोसा बनाते हैं हम। तो बड़ा डोसा बनाएंगे तो बड़ा चैलेंज रहेगा, तो लोग कस्टमर आएंगे, लोग आएंगे, तो इसलिए मैंने कहा कि एक बड़ा तवा बनवाते हैं, बड़ा डोसा बनाते हैं ताकि लोग आएँ और चैलेंज करें।
The cost of the dosa is 1500 rupees and no one has won the challenge so far. Dosa, a crisp wafer-thin rice flour pancake stuffed with vegetable stew, is a popular South Indian dish taken as breakfast or dinner across the country.
And now we will take you to the southern city of Mangalore, where a Muslim man has built a temple and has been taking care of it for the last 19 years.
India is home to a number of different religions, castes, creed, and ethnicities that reside peacefully on this harmonious land. Examples of this peaceful coexistence could be easily spotted in different nooks and corners of the country. One such example is that of a Muslim man named P. Qasim Sahib from Karnataka, who has built a temple and is taking care of it since 19 years.
ಅವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಬೈದನಾಯ ಅತ್ತಂದ ದೈವ ನಂಬಿಯರ ಬೈದನ ಅತ್ತು ಬತ್ತನಲ್ಪ ನಂಬೂಡುಂದಾಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಮದುವೆದ ಹೊರ್ತು ಇದನ್ನ ಮದುವೆ ಆಪುಜಿ ಸರಿ ಬೋಳು ಬೊತ್ತನಲ್ಲ ಬುಡುಗಡೆ ಇದ್ದಿ ನಂಬುವೆ ಬಂತಂದು ನಂಬುತ್ತೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಜೋಕುಳ ಮದುವೆ ಆಡು 4 ಜೋಕುಳ ಮದುವೆ ಆಡು ಅರ್ಥಾಂಡ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪೂರ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಆಡು ಎಂಜ ಇತ್ತೆಂಜ ಬಂಡ ಅಜ್ಜನ ನಂಬತ್ತು ಗುಡಿ ಕಡ್ದು ಕುಳ್ಳುಂಡು 1000 ಜನ ಬರ್ಪುಂಡು ಅಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಕಷ್ಟ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಆವಿರ ಬೋಡಾತು ಅರ್ಥಾಂಡ
ಮೊದಲಾದ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ
ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೋಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಐನು ಕೋಲ ಮಂತೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ತುಳಾಯಿ ಕರೆ ಒರಿಯೇನೆ ಅಟ್ಟ ಅಪ್ಪಕ್ಕ ಒಂಚೂರು ಬಂಗ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಕ್ಕುಜಿ ಸಾಲಿಗೆ ಎಪ್ಪುಡು ಅಂಜನೆ ಇತ್ತ ಸಾಲದ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಿ ಆನಿ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇತ್ತೀನಿ ಇತ್ತೆ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇದ್ದಿ ಇತ್ತ ಜನಗಳು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಾಸು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಖರ್ಚಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕ ತಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ದೀಪ ಹೊತ್ತುಂಡು ಅರ್ಥಾಂಡ.
A resident of Chittalencheri village in Palakkad district of Kerala, Qasim came to Karnataka in search for a job 35 years ago and settled down in Kavatharu in Mulki Taluk, a town around 40 kilometers far from Kerala. During his rough patch, he built a temple for Kuraja, a demigod revered in coastal districts. People of different castes and religions reside in the village and come to offer prayers at the temple.
इधर हम लोग कुछ भी मन्नत मांगेगा तो करगज्जा हम लोग का मन्नत को पूरा करता है, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। इधर कोई भी आ जाइए, करगज्जा का सानिध्य में आके हम लोग को मन्नत कीजिए, तुम लोग का कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम कुछ भी तकलीफ रहेगा तो सॉल्व करेगा करगज्जा.
From the past 20 years, Qasim has been performing daily rituals and distributing prasad to all the devotees.
Next, we move on to Jammu&Kashmir, where an Igloo cafe is emerging as a major attraction amongst tourists. Opened at the famous ski resort of Gulmarg, it is claimed to be the world's largest cafe of its kind with a seating capacity of 40. Have a look.
If you're planning to visit Kashmir to soak in its snowy weather, your itinerary must include sipping a cup of coffee or hot kahwa inside an igloo. You no longer have to travel all the way to Switzerland, Finland or Canada to have such an experience, as the newly opened Igloo Cafe in Gulmarg is all set to be at your service. Popularly known as Snow Glue, this cafe is set up by an hotelier named Wasim Shah and is around 44.5 feet in diameter and 37.5 feet in height. The snow tables, each meant for 4 people, are carved in a circular fashion to serve 40 people. Tourists in large number are flocking Gulmarg to visit the Igloo Cafe to have once in a lifetime experience.
हम पहली बार कश्मीर आए हैं। मैंने सुना था कि कश्मीर को जन्नत कहते हैं और वाकई ही ये जन्नत है। इससे खूबसूरत दुनिया में कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है। जिन्होंने सोनमर्ग, पहलगाम, गुलमर्ग सब देखा है और अभी हम गुलमर्ग के इग्लू होटल में खड़े हैं, जो हमारी गाइड इरफान ने लाया है, वो बहुत ही अच्छे हैं। तो ये इतना खूबसूरत है कि इसका शब्दों में बयां ही नहीं कर सकते कुछ। यूट्यूब पे आप जो देखते हो इसकी एक झलक भी नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं यूट्यूब पे आप देखते हो। अगर आप सच में देखना चाहते हो तो आप एक बार विंटर में कश्मीर आओ 7-8 दिन के लिए और ये सब प्लेसेस देखो। जो आपको यहाँ पे एहसास होगा वो दुनिया में कहीं नहीं हो सकता है। इतना खूबसूरत कश्मीर है।
Snow Glue took 64 days to complete with around 25 people working on it. It has two sections, one for seating and the other for art space like wall carvings. Moreover, to give it a local touch, samovar, which is a traditional Kashmiri kettle, has been brought to use inside the cafe. It is claimed to be the world's largest cafe as it is more in height and diameter than the one in Switzerland, which according to the Guinness Book of World Records is the biggest igloo cafe. One of the members involved in establishment of the cafe said that they have already applied for the world record.
हमने इस इग्लू को सिर्फ एक स्ट्रक्चर बनाने की कोशिश नहीं की है, एक एक्सपीरियंस बनाने की कोशिश की है। तो ये जो हमारा इग्लू है आप देख सकते हैं इसके दो सेक्शंस में डिवाइडेड है। एक यहाँ का आर्ट स्पेस है जहाँ पर हम लोगों ने लोकल आर्टिस्ट जो है हमारे उन लोगों ने आर्ट अपना बनाया है। आप देख सकते हैं वॉल कार्विंग्स की हुई हैं, आइस स्कल्पचर्स बनाए हैं। और दूसरा एक सेक्शन है जो कि हमारा सिटिंग स्पेस है जहाँ पर आप बैठकर यू कैन हैव सम कश्मीरी क्यूजीन, यू कैन सिट, रिलैक्स, एंजॉय द एक्सपीरियंस. To sit in an ice restaurant, an igloo restaurant in itself is a lifetime experience.
Last year too, an igloo cafe was created in Gulmarg by Kola Hoi Green Group of Hotels and Resorts, which was claimed to be the Asia's biggest. It had 4 tables and could accommodate only 16 people at a time. It was for the first time that an igloo cafe was created in India. This time again, they took the challenge and made the world's largest igloo.
लास्ट ईयर ये कोलाई ग्रीन हाइट्स जो ये होटलियर है उन्होंने ट्राई किया था एक इग्लो बनाने का। एशिया का पहला इग्लो कैफे उन्होंने बनाया था लास्ट ईयर, जो फिर उन्होंने इस बार थोड़ा बड़ा किया कि वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट इग्लो बना दिया। वो इसमें वसीम साहब हैं जो इनके एमडी हैं कोलाई ग्रीन हाइट्स के, उनका सारा रोल है। ये एक अच्छी अट्रैक्शन है टूरिस्ट के लिए। गुलमर्ग मोस्टली फेमस है स्कीइंग के लिए, लेकिन इस तरह के जो भी अट्रैक्शंस हैं वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट को अट्रैक्ट करेंगे।
So this winter, if you want to experience this man-made wonder, then you have to hurry up before it melts and bids a final goodbye.
At last, we bring you a few short stories about the recent developments and happenings from around the world in our section of World in Focus.
Tokyo Metropolitan Government is holding a demonstration experiment named E-Ride Tokyo to expand the popularization of EV bike. EV bikes are electronic bikes that are very quiet and do not emit fuel.
東京都は2050年には CO2 を排出しない環境先進都市ゼロエミッション東京を実現することを目指し取り組みを進めております。2030年までに都内の温室効果ガスを 50% 削減するカーボンハーフを掲げ、新車販売される二輪車を2035年までに 100% 非ガソリン化する取り組みです。地球温暖化対策、地球規模での対策が必要となってまいります。東京都も今回の授業をはじめ、あらゆる分野で取り組みを加速させていく予定です。
After successful organization of Olympic Games, Tokyo is being seen as the most progressed city in the world. The city's response to zero emission is appreciated by many countries and leaders around the world. Ireland will next month hold its flagship St. Patrick's Day parade in Dublin for the first time in 3 years, hoping to jumpstart a tourism sector hammered by one of Europe's toughest lockdown regimes.
We are ecstatic for the return of St. Patrick's Day. So we're almost 2 years closed, with 2 years with restrictions up until now, and we're slowly starting to see the return of people coming back. People are getting the confidence to travel again.
The March 17, a public holiday celebrated with parades in towns and villages across the country, was one of the first major events to be cancelled in 2020. The main parade in Dublin, which drew some 500,000 travellers from around the world each year before the pandemic, has served to kick off the capital's tourism season and will again be the centerpiece of a 5-day festival of events this year. Japanese electronics manufacturer giant Panasonic has announced to take steps regarding environment conservation in the future at the world's largest consumer electronics exhibition, CES 2022. During the coronavirus pandemic, Panasonic introduced its latest products via video and online conferencing instead of displaying them physically. And in the video message, Kusumi's CEO explained the commitment Green Impact.
When I see the activities of the Panasonic Group, I see the need to fulfill a tremendous responsibility. We will reduce this by developing new technologies and solutions to increase their efficiency.
The customer base of Panasonic is spread all over the world, and the company is very well aware of the responsibility that it holds towards the society. Copenhagen Light Festival opened with 50 installations, making it the largest in Europe. Set against the cold, dark Nordic winter in the Danish capital, artist Froskjær Gordiat said he hoped his work Phoenix would make people think about traveling and flying and going around the world after 2 years of COVID-19 restrictions. Phoenix is accompanied by audio of birdsong celebrating the nature that some humans still are destroying.
We have made it during the corona period, so we are thinking about traveling and flying and go around the world, nature, so we have made the Phoenix.
The green beam shot across the night sky announcing the festival is on. One Danish artist created a work from 5,000 pieces of yellow plastic found in nature. They were cleaned and assembled into a 3.6 meter tall globe-formed construction called 8 Dozen Sun by Mudge D from Denmark. The majority of the light works are placed along the quay and on the bicycle bridges in the most biked city in the world. As a new element, many works will also be turned on in the early morning when people go to work. The Copenhagen Light Festival Sunday runs until February 27.
That's all we have for you this week. Your comments and suggestions are important to us. Do give us your feedback at myindia@aniin.com. I'm your host Uzma Jafri, and it's goodbye from the entire production team.